Okay, so imagine this. You're standing in a lift, right? And someone gets in and they smile at you and go, "Lovely weather we're having." And your brain just completely shuts down.
That happens more often than you think. The interesting thing is, it's not actually about the weather at all.
Wait, what? Then why are they talking about the weather?
That's exactly what we're going to explore today. Small talk isn't really about the topic, it's about something much more fundamental to how English speakers connect with each other.
See, this is why small talk feels so weird when you're learning English, because you think you need to have an opinion about the weather or the weekend or whatever, but actually,
You're playing a completely different game and nobody explained the rules.
so today we're breaking down small talk, not just the phrases, but the hidden purpose behind it all.
I'm James,
I'm Lucy.
and this is Plain English. Let's start with the most common small talk opener in English. Someone asks you, "How are you?" or "How's it going?" What's your natural instinct when you hear that?
Well, when I was learning French, I used to actually answer. Like, I'd start telling them about my day, and they'd look at me like I'd grown a second head.
And that's the trap right there. In English and in many languages, actually, "How are you?" isn't really a question. It's more like a greeting in disguise.
So, what are you supposed to say?
Something brief and positive. "Good, thanks. You?" Or "Pretty good. How about you?" The key is to keep it short and then bounce the question back to them.
But what if you're not good? What if he's had the worst morning ever?
With a stranger or a casual acquaintance, you still say fine or good. It's not about being dishonest, it's about maintaining a comfortable social atmosphere. Think of it as verbal lubrication for the conversation.
Oh, I love that verbal lubrication. So, it's like you're just making things run smoothly before you get to the real stuff?
Exactly. Now, if it's a close friend or family member, that's different. Then you can actually get into how you're really feeling. But with most people, small talk is about establishing a friendly connection, not sharing your life story.
Okay, so you've both said fine or good, but then what? Because that's where it gets really awkward, isn't it? There's this silence and everyone's just standing there.
This is where small talk truly begins. And here's the thing that might surprise you: it doesn't need to be interesting,
Wait, really?
really. Small talk is called small for a reason. You're not trying to discuss philosophy or solve world problems, you're just filling space in a pleasant way.
So, what do people actually talk about?
There are a few reliable categories. Weather is the classic one, especially in Britain.
Oh my gosh, British people and the weather. It's like a national obsession.
It is, and for good reason. Weather is safe, universal, and changes frequently enough to always be relevant. But there are other topics too: weekend plans, traffic or commute, something in your immediate environment, recent holidays, or even just been busy.
That's another one that confuses me. Been busy? Like, busy with what? Are they asking about work, life, everything?
They're not asking for specifics. It's just another way of saying, "What's going on with you?" You can answer with something vague like, "Yeah, I'm pretty busy actually," or "Not too bad, just the usual."
So, you don't have to give details?
Not unless they ask follow-up questions. And this is an important point. Small talk often stays at the surface level. That's not rude or cold, it's just the nature of it. Let's pause here for a moment because we've used some phrases that are worth breaking down.
Oh, yes, language pause time.
First, how's it going? Notice the contraction there. How is it going becomes how's it going? In casual English, we contract constantly. It sounds more natural and friendly.
And you can also say, "How are things?" or just, "How are you?" They all mean basically the same thing, right?
Correct. They're interchangeable in most situations. Another phrase we mentioned was pretty good.
Why do we say pretty good instead of just good?
Pretty here is what we call a softener or hedge word. It makes a statement less absolute. Native speakers do this all the time. Kind of, sort of, fairly, pretty. It makes you sound less intense and more conversational.
So, "I'm good" sounds more definitive, but "I'm pretty good" sounds more relaxed.
Exactly. One more phrase. Been busy? This is a shortened form of have you been busy? We drop the have you because it's implied in casual speech.
And you can also say, yeah, pretty busy, or even just, yeah, the usual.
Right. The usual is a perfect small talk phrase because it says something without really saying anything specific. It keeps the conversation flowing without demanding too much detail.
I love that. It's like a social lubricant phrase.
Now, let's get back to the conversation and talk about why small talk feels so difficult.
Okay, so I have a theory about why small talk is so hard for English learners. It's because you're learning all this grammar and vocabulary, and then suddenly you're in a real situation and none of it helps.
You're absolutely right. Small talk doesn't rely on complex grammar or fancy vocabulary. It's about something completely different.
So, what is it about?
It's about signaling. You're signaling that you're friendly, approachable, and socially aware. You're creating a comfortable atmosphere.
So, it's like social choreography. You're both doing this little dance together.
That's a great way to put it. And like any dance, there are unspoken rules. For example, you generally don't jump straight into controversial or deeply personal topics.
Right. You wouldn't be like, hi, how are you? What do you think about politics? That would be so weird.
Exactly. You start with neutral ground, the weather, the weekend, something you both can easily relate to. And then, if the conversation develops naturally, you might move into more substantial topics.
But what if you're terrible at thinking of things to say? Like, the weather is fine, but then what?
Here's a useful technique. Use the situation you're in. If you're at a coffee shop, comment on the coffee or the busy morning rush. If you're waiting for a meeting, mention how packed your schedule has been. Your environment gives you endless material.
Oh, that's clever. So you're basically narrating what's around you.
In a way, yes, but here's the key. You're not making grand statements. You're making small observations that invite agreement or response. This cue's taking forever, isn't it? Or Mondays are always crazy, aren't they?
Oh, and those little tag questions at the end, isn't it and aren't they? They're asking for agreement, right?
Precisely. They turn your observation into a shared experience. You're creating common ground.
So it's less about what you say and more about creating this sense of we're in this together.
That's exactly it. Small talk is fundamentally about building rapport, not exchanging information.
Okay, but here's what really terrifies me about small talk. When it dies, like you've talked about the weather, you've talked about the weekend, and then there's just nothing. Silence. What do you do?
First, understand that silence isn't always bad. A brief pause is normal and acceptable. But if you want to keep the conversation going, you can use what I call conversation extenders.
Ooh, what are those?
They're phrases that invite the other person to elaborate. How about you is the simplest one. But you can also use things like, oh yeah, or really, or that sounds nice, with a slightly rising intonation. These signal that you're interested and give the other person space to continue.
So you're basically giving them permission to keep talking?
Yes, and if they don't take it, that's fine too. Sometimes small talk is meant to be brief. A quick exchange in the lift, a moment at the coffee machine, and then everyone moves on.
That actually takes the pressure off, doesn't it? Like, it doesn't have to turn into this big conversation.
Exactly. And here's something else. You don't need to be witty or fascinating. In fact, being too clever or trying too hard can make small talk uncomfortable.
Really? Why?
Because small talk is about being relatable, not impressive. If you're constantly trying to say something brilliant, the other person might feel like they need to match that energy and it becomes exhausting.
So, boring is actually good?
Boring isn't quite the right word. Let's say comfortable or easy. The best small talk feels effortless.
Okay, time for another language pause because James used some really useful phrases just then.
Let's start with those tag questions we mentioned. The weather's nice, isn't it? Or this coffee's good, isn't it?
These are super common in British English, especially, right?
They are. The pattern is fairly simple. You make a positive statement and add a negative tag, or vice versa. It's cold, isn't it? Or it wasn't too bad, was it?
And they're expecting the person to agree with you, yeah?
Usually, yes. It's a way of creating agreement and connection. Now, another important pattern is those conversation extenders we talked about.
Oh, yeah? And really? And things like that?
Right. Notice the intonation rises on these. That rising intonation shows interest and encourages the other person to continue. If you say, oh yeah, with a falling tone, it sounds like you're ending the conversation.
Ooh, that's so important. So it's not just the words, it's how you say them.
Absolutely. One more phrase to highlight. How about you? This is possibly the most useful small talk phrase in English. You can use it after almost anything.
I'm good. How about you? Busy weekend planned. How about you? Just grabbing a coffee. How about you?
Perfect examples. It keeps the conversation balanced and shows you're interested in the other person, not just talking about yourself.
Love it. Okay, back to helping people survive small talk.
So, we've talked about what small talk is and some techniques for doing it. Let's end with the question in our title. How do you actually start enjoying it?
Yes, because right now, for a lot of learners, it probably feels like torture.
The first step is changing your expectation. Stop seeing small talk as a test of your English ability. You're not being graded on vocabulary or grammar.
So, what are you doing?
You're simply being human with another human. That's all. You're acknowledging their presence, showing friendliness, and creating a pleasant moment.
That's actually quite sweet when you think about it that way.
It is. And here's something interesting. Even native speakers sometimes find small talk awkward or challenging. It's not just a language learner problem.
Oh, really? That makes me feel better.
The second step to enjoying small talk is to be genuinely curious. Even if someone's talking about something mundane like their commute, you can find something interesting in it if you listen for it.
Can you give an example?
Sure, someone says, oh, traffic was terrible this morning. Instead of just nodding, you could ask, do you usually drive or take the train? Suddenly, you're learning something about their routine. Maybe they'll mention they've just started a new job, and the conversation opens up.
So, you're looking for little doors you can open.
Exactly. Small talk doesn't have to stay small. It's often the beginning of real conversation and even friendships.
I love that. So, what's your final advice for someone who's terrified of small talk?
Practice with low stakes situations. Chat with the barista when you order coffee. Comment on the weather to someone waiting at the bus stop. Make it a game. See if you can make one small talk exchange per day.
And remember, the worst that can happen is nothing. They might just smile and nod, and that's fine.
Exactly. There's no real failure in small talk. Even an awkward attempt is still a human connection, and most people will appreciate the effort.
So, to recap everything we've talked about today, small talk isn't really about the topic of conversation. It's about creating comfortable social connections.
Keep your responses short and positive, especially with how are you types of questions. Use simple, relatable topics like weather, weekends, or your immediate environment.
Use those tag questions and conversation extenders to keep things flowing. Isn't it? And how about you? Are your best friends?
And most importantly, don't put pressure on yourself to be brilliant or fascinating. Small talk is about being comfortable and relatable.
So, next time someone says, how's it going in the lift, you'll know exactly what to do.
We hope this has helped demystify small talk for you. If you enjoyed this episode, let us know what other everyday English situations you'd like us to break down.
Thanks for listening to Plain English.
We'll see you next time.